like to welcome PMAP's President, Gerry Plana, and IBPAP's President and CEO, Mr. Untal, to join us on stage for the final closing synthesis.
Okay, I don't know how to do this. This was not scripted, so actually, to tell you the truth, I prepared for a 1-hour presentation. But after having heard Cliff, resilience and flexibility, that will have to be reduced to a few minutes. So, you want to go ahead, say like reaction, Ray?
Yeah. I actually promised my table here that I will enamor them for the next 2 hours, so I'm overdoing you already by 1%. But reflecting on the conversation we just had today, and I guess also putting into context the type of organizations that we are in, and also looking back at my own experience, coaching, mentoring is definitely a challenge. And the challenge gets aggravated by the fact that we are now managing large teams and managing in the age of digital transformation as well, which makes it even more difficult. I remember when back 20 years ago, I was in a consulting company, and that year, we were told by our country managing partner that we will do a significant mass hiring exercise. And true enough, that year in 1998, we hired a total of 15 people. That was considered mass hiring at the time, 10% of our headcount, not counting for backfill replacement. But you see the context. In our day and age now, one of our largest member company hires to the tune of 5,000 people a month purely to backfill attrition, and another 2,000 to accommodate growth. Just imagine the kind of infrastructure that you need to put in place from a recruitment standpoint alone. But you superimpose the implication it has on the management and your ability to be relevant in terms of providing meaningful coaching. When the ratio is between one manager to 5 to 10 people, then the effectiveness is clear. But when you're talking about one manager to several hundred employees, then you need to be creative. And unfortunately, even until now, I struggle to figure out how exactly and what kind of channel is available or platform that will allow us to do this effectively. And that's one area that Cliff and I are trying to solve offline. But I just wanted to say that because the context is very different now. And I'm not even touching on the implication of the disruption that we have to deal with, which means that almost on a daily basis, we need to be aware that there is a significant transformation strategy that we need to exercise, which changes, fortunately, forces us to adapt to something that we are truly uncomfortable with.
Thank you, Ray, for your closing message. You know, this is the thing about joint. You have 2 closing messages. So it's my turn now. How I want to do this is probably, first of all, describe myself, because as a consultant also myself, I have evolved through the years. I now call myself as a good practice consultant because of the investors in people standard that find me up close with several organizations whenever we do assessments and presentations. Let's talk about leadership, because I think this is one of those subjects that never go away. I think one of the best lessons I got about leadership is when I was talking to a young person, way back 12 years ago, who educated me about the difference between a manager and a leader. In the course of our conversation, he suddenly blurted out and said, you know, Mr. Plana, the thing with me is I don't want to be managed, I want to be led. And that really got me thinking. And after a while, it really suddenly dawned on me. When somebody says, I want to be led rather than managed, the person wants to feel like a human being. Because every time we manage, it's always associated with things and objects. So it's very hard to manage people. You know? It's different when you are led. You feel like a human being. Talking about leadership, I think this is one of the biggest shifts that we're still grappling with as today, because we're coming in quite strong with the command and control type of a leader, really. It's very hard to break that because that has been built through many years, isn't it? And then all of a sudden we say, can we be more empowering? Can we be more engaging? Like from the coaching perspective, we say, can we ask rather than tell? You know, it's not an easy shift. But what I've noticed about organizations I've come across with is this, and this is the sad plight. There is lacking in seriousness in leadership development. You know, the concept of leadership development is this. I send you to a 3-day meeting, a 3-day leadership. Hola, you are a leader. I don't think leadership works that way. I think leadership should be a nurturing type of development. It's not a one-off or a two-off event. It's a continuous journey. And one important thing that I've noticed in my practice of consulting is the value of regular feedback is critical. Because one of the biggest problems of leaders that I see is the problem of self-illusion. They think they're so great and they persist in the wrongdoing. Okay? Unless somebody tells them, hey, that's not the way to do it. And you can only do that if you have a regular system of feedback, so that coaching probably can come into the picture and help the person continuously. That's why the 3 words that we should never forget in this meeting are the words resiliency. We need to be resilient as an organization, as a person, because we live in a VUCA environment. It used to be stable. We did not need resiliency then, but now we need it. And to be resilient, we need to work on our organization capability, because that's where execution comes. The cultures we build, the people we develop, the leadership we develop is part of capability. And coaching is definitely one of the most critical leadership skills that we can have in making our organization strong so that they can survive in this very highly disruptive environment. Thank you very much for all your time, and this is my closing message. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Untal and Gerry Plana from IBPAP and PMAP.